I'm ready to talk about the star of the weekend, though. I'm ready to talk about the star of the weekend.
The star of the show. So I don't even know how Kenny stumbled upon this shit. But there's this company called Devolver Direct.
Devolver Digital.
Devolver Digital. And they had this thing called a Devolver Direct, kind of like a Nintendo Direct, right? So so let me just say this. I didn't know that what I was watching was some bullshit. So I tuned in, and it comes on and it's talking about how one of the biggest game mascots of all time. And it's like zooming in on this picture that is unrecognizable of like this creature that looks like a mouse with a big ass hand and 2 feet and a cap, like a baseball cap on. It's zooming in on a mouse with a big ass hand, a baseball cap, and 2 feet.
It's got a big hand for gaming. It's got a big.
So when I tell y'all, so the character is called Volvy, and I literally for the first like 3 minutes, I thought that I had missed something in my childhood. Because they were talking as though everyone knew of it. And what I didn't like, they referenced actual gaming mascots like Gex and shit. They were like, you remember you had the big players like Sonic and Gex, and they were naming things that were real. And they were like, and then there was the Titan Volvy. And it's this fucking rat. And they're like, meet Volvy's creator, Ron. I can't breathe. They said meet Volvy's creator, and this guy named fucking Rana. So this fucking guy's name. I messaged Kenny immediately. I said that's not a real name. Fucking Ronathan. No one is named Ronathan, okay? And also, the craziest thing to me is that the guy looks like our friend Cheyenne Majora that comes on the podcast. He looks like him, but like 10 years later.
Oh
so
my
it
God.
this was a lot. This was a lot. This is a 20-minute long thing, and it was the best shit I've watched literally the entire weekend. Honestly, this was the best thing I've seen all weekend. It was so fucking funny. I advise you right now, type in like the Devolver Direct, the Return of Volvy, or just type in the Return of Volvy.
You have to watch it.
VOLVY. When I tell you that everyone listening to this podcast, if you do nothing else, if you get nothing else from this episode, please God, watch this fucking YouTube video called The Return of Volvy. It is the funniest thing I have ever seen. I swear to God, it is so unhinged.
Because, dude, it fucks you up. I was watching it with Connie, and I'd already seen it, and then I sent it to you, and then I showed it to Connie on her lunch break. And so she's watching it, and she's like, what the fuck? And she's like 5 minutes in, she's like, they're fucking with me, right? She's like, they're fucking with me, right? Like, this isn't real?
Same exact response. I was like, there's no way I missed this. There's no way my childhood, this was a part of my childhood I just don't remember. He was
like, and then we started doing the merchandise, and it was flying off the shelves.
I was so confused. They keep on showing Ronathan, and he looks lost. My man looks like he looks so, he's balding really bad. Like, I mean, extremely bad. He has like basically a bald head with a couple strands of gray hair hanging off of it. And he has glasses, and he just looks so out of it. And they show all these generations of Volvy. And what's scary to me is that these games that they're showing throughout the generations look like they're real games that somebody put time and effort into.
They are real games. They're all games that are made by Devolver Digital, like the actual company. But Volvy is not in these games. Like they just fucking.
One of them was called Kenny. One of them was called Cigarette Heist. There's no.
Well, no, that game wasn't real. That game. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they get to a point where they're like, so the market was changing and what people were into were different, and so we had to market Volvy to a more mature audience.
We had to edge them up a bit.
Yeah, give him some edge. And then he's like he lost his big hand for gaming. He lost his. And he was
everything about this character is unhinged. It looks creepy as hell.
My ear hurts and fuck you. What does he say?
Yo, the craziest part to me though is when he had mystery bites Volvy's Mystery Bites. So it's a cereal, and there's this black kid, this little white girl at a table, like a breakfast table, and you see the Mystery Bites being poured into their bowls. First of all, the Mystery Bites look like shit pellets. The Mystery Bites look like rat shit pellets. They're pouring them into a bowl of cereal.
Oh
And the
shit!
kids bite into the literal feces, and the black kid's face tells it all. Like he looks like he's like, what the fuck did I just bite into? And then Volvy comes from the side. He's like, it makes tasting mysterious and confusing. And like the little girl looks all disturbed too that they're eating these mystery bites, but it's very clearly shit.
And then
Everything about this.
there's the part.
insane.
There's a line where it says like it's a mystery what goes in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like, bro,
It makes tasting confusing. Like, no, bro, I don't want my tasting to be confusing. Oh, this was nuts. Then it gets to like
shit.
a live studio audience section of this video, and all these people are wearing all this Volvy merch, and they have Volvy caps. And at this point, I realized like, there's no fucking way this is real, right? Like, I'm far enough into the video. You're only, and honestly, when they show the live studio audience, it's only 5 minutes in, and the video is 22 minutes long. So there's 17 minutes of content following the live studio audience. But I literally was like, there's no way I went through all this time of my life and I just completely forgot about Volvy. Okay.
And then they
made it sound like it.
They have this, hey everybody, like they have like this guy come out, and I love because they always have like, they'll say the guy's name and it'll say like, whatever. For this, it just says like loud person. Like instead of it saying like
that.
top streamer or top Fortnite player, it says loud person.
Yeah, it literally says the guy's name, then a loud person. Then you have like innovation imagineer. You have another person that's just called like influencer. Basically no titles at all. And the creator of Ronathan, who's standing on the stage with this new Volvy robot thing.
Yeah, they introduce
Volvy,
and it's and it's got AI and shit.
GPT version of a game maker. It makes video games on the spot. You tell like, hey Volvy, make me a game that's like God of War, but I want it to be more like Zelda, where weapons have durability and stuff like that. And it'll make it like Volvy, and then like spits out a game, but the game itself is just some unhinged nonsense. I was done.
But it was cool because they used that to actually introduce the new games that they're making. Like those are all real games. Like Wizard with a Gun is an actual game that's coming out.
Okay.
So like they created these prompts and like made it this unhinged shit, but they used it to actually introduce games like bro, when I tell you I was fucking crying at that game Baby Steps. Did you?
Yo, Baby Steps did it. Me and Jalen lost our shit today. Baby Steps took us out. I could not deal with that at all. This guy, why did he run into an asshole during that? He ran into a guy. He kicked over like a pile of rocks. And this one human guy comes out of nowhere, and he's just a dickhead. He's like, can we just go back to where you didn't? And like, he's just talking so reckless. He's like, you thought that you would help by using your foot. You thought you would catch it with your foot. And he's just being a dickhead. It's like whoever did the dialogue captured the idea of being a dickhead so well, because this guy, everything he's doing, he's even doing the motion of like how the person was walking because they're walking like an idiot. He's doing it and like mocking him though. He's like, yeah, you thought you were going to catch it with your feet, huh? Oh man, Baby Steps was too much. He just kept falling over. This is not a real game though. Baby Steps is not real, right?
Yeah, no, it is. That game's coming out. That's going to be a real game coming out. It's like, did you see that game Getting Over It or like the really old?
I 100% heard of Getting Over It.
There's a really old like Flash game called Quap, where like you're a runner like on a track and you control it. You control each leg and each part of the leg individually. So that's like what Baby Steps is. You control the legs individually, and so you have to like actually learn how to walk. With your control, it's going to be so fucking funny to watch people rage and play this game and follow. That's a real game that's coming out. Baby Steps is a real game.
Baby Steps is one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and honestly, today and the first time I saw it, I was in my room with tears coming down my face. I was fucking crying. Okay, this was so unhinged to me. I didn't think that these were real, even though they said like PS5, Xbox, and all at the bottom of each trailer. I thought that they were all fake because everything about this was fake to me. I was like, well, Volvy didn't exist. I even started Googling Volvy to make sure that it wasn't like in my dad's generation or something. I almost text my dad and be like, do you remember Volvy? I almost text him. But then I realized, I was like, no. Just
No,
no.
this shit
Like,
just
this
isn't real. Yeah, no.
It's not real.
They did all this nonsense, but they actually did introduce real games like Wizard with a Gun, Baby Steps, Human Fall Flat 2. Like those are all going to be real games that are coming out. I think it was kind of a funny, creative way to do it. But yeah, that live show was unhinged. And then like it like made a game and then like fucking just produced this goo juice that would be deposited from its back. And Ronathan was like, "What's that?" And we're like, "Oh, don't worry about that. It's just like a little bit of waste. He's got to use his energy to create the games." And he goes, "What?"
Shit.
Because he's like this AI thing, and he's like, "What happened to his big hand?" And then you want to talk about how because you already said how unhinged it was. You want to talk about how fucking unhinged it gets?
Yeah, like they ask about his big hand that is no longer present on Volvy, and of course it explodes out of the white robot with this big ass nasty tentacle hand thing, and it grips the main announcer dude, the loud person. It grips his fucking face, and it just mauls his face off. Like
It just kills him.
Shit. Yeah, it just kills him, mauls his face off like some horror movie shit. People are just standing by, and I think probably the funniest thing that happened in the entire thing for me is the very end when so the guy Ronathan who created it, they show one last game, and the game is like the most fucking binary, like old school game I've ever seen. It has like 4 actions, like pick up, speak, listen, and then it has like an inventory with like a first aid kit, some box cutters, and some other shit, right? And so Volvy's caught in the bear trap. And Ronathan walks up to Volvy in the bear trap, and it's like, "Volvy needs your help." And it's like, "Help Volvy," and the guy clicks yes. And it's just Ronathan clicking yes. And then it goes, "Okay, what will you help him with?" So he goes to his inventory, he puts the first aid kit. And then when he puts the first aid kit on Volvy's body, it says, "Volvy it says, he goes to give he goes to give Volvy the first aid kit, and it says Volvy needs a different kind of help. Then he deselects the fucking first aid kit, and he goes to select the box cutters, like the things that can get him out of the bear trap, and he puts the box cutters on top of Volvy this time. And then it says again, Volvy needs a different kind. It says Volvy needs a different kind of help. So then they show a rock, like a little rock next to Volvy's body, and Volvy looks down at the rock, and Ronathan takes the hint, and he walks over to the rock, and then he clicks the option to pick it up, and then you just see his hand come down, but then they don't actually show, but he basically kills Volvy.
He beats him
Volvy in the game. Yes, he kills Volvy in the game, and he kills Volvy in real life inside the Volvy robot that's mauling this guy's face off. It is the most fucking ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life. I cried literally right now, and the last 2 times I've seen this, this is by far the best thing that came out of the entire Summer Game Fest.
Yes,
I swear to God.
it's not even close.
It's not even close, bro. You have to watch it. It's so insane. Volvy was too much for me. It beat every game that came out. Honestly, I don't even care about nothing else besides Final Fantasy. It's Volvy and Final Fantasy for me.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, we have full video versions of our podcast episodes available on the IMNerd Patreon, as well as exclusive content.
If you'd like to listen to our full podcast episodes or find us on any other social media platforms, you can do so by clicking the link tree below.